the beat.
I don't know who, somebody need to hear this. Y'all don't speak Hebrew, that's Yiddish. How the fuck you try to label us anti-Semitic? We the Israelites, blacks, native Hispanics. The Germans getting locked up for the Holocaust. Meanwhile, black people still up in the Holocaust. 100 million of us died in the transatlantic. 6 million died, y'all want the world to never forget it. You can never be a Jew, you a Ashkenaz. This ain't a star dum-dum, a gun die or die. Yeah, Yeezy told the truth and got ostracized. Not one person in the Bible had on a yarmulke. We was slaves in America like we was in Egypt. Y'all don't even fit the curses in the Torah neither. Y'all was blind to the truth, I had to make it clear. How Jerusalem, your land, your people came from Europe. That was 1947, your menorah got 9 sticks, it's really only 7. Yeah, it's us against the world, Armageddon. This what happened when you inherit lies from your ancestors. Y'all the synagogue of Satan with them black hats. Your whole nation sitting ducks, Aflacs. Bunch of thieves and culture vultures, ain't nothing kosher. To tell the truth, you vagabonds don't have a culture. Macedonia, Alexander and Philip, you a convert, so tell me, how the fuck is you Israel? That don't make you the people just cause you litter. Why my people can't hate your people like y'all hate Hitler? All the prophets was black and was called nigga. Y'all don't even fit the description that's in the scriptures. Abraham, all the way down to Jacob, we the real Jews. Y'all don't study Christ, y'all follow the Talmud. Keep it real, yeah, let's keep it real. Cold hard truth, it give you chills. Say y'all Jewish cause y'all ain't really them. About to do them like Hammond, it's the Feast of Purim. UPK undefeated, this an easy win. We was born fighting, y'all the evil twin. Jacob took hold of his heel, then out came his little red bass and they kosher deals. It's only 12 tribes, y'all trying to make it 13. Esau despised his birthright, the Lord cursed him. He ain't the devil, who is? I'm still searching. Ask your rabbi, why he get them babies herpes? I don't know what's worse, that or you claiming that you a Maccabee. I'm about to cancel, everybody try to cancel ye. I ain't afraid to speak, that's what I do. They riding to the core, I'm just judging them by their fruit. Cause they ain't suffering curses. If I was carnal, I promise I'd punch you in person. I know this an uncomfortable subject. They making millions off our culture and black people suffering from it. Yeah, they don't believe in Christ, they the Antichrist. Make a living off of niggas, they a parasite. I ain't afraid to tell the truth, niggas terrified. I'm about to go DEFCON 4, I ain't satisfied.
That is proof. That is absolute proof that they know we are the real Jews. That's absolute proof. Now he got the records. Go find me a white Jew on any archaeology in Egypt anywhere. You will never find a piece of archaeology with white people as slaves in Egypt. So don't tell me that they were slaves and it's their identity, and they know it. And I know the blasphemy of them that say they are Jews and are not. The Lord knows the blasphemy of you so-called white people that say you are Jews and you are not Jews. You are not the people of the law. You are not God's chosen people. God's chosen people are living in the ghettos of America. God's chosen people are in poverty and depression in the streets of America. God's chosen people are walking around in America with no identity. That's where God's chosen people are.
Yo, Lot. These niggas stuck, man. Yeah.
Lot. I've been eating pot belly, greasy face, Glock heavy. Feed the safe, talking shit, do not tell me. I don't wanna see that hate, all that shit do not help me. I'm just trying to plead my case to the most high. Pray I see the gates. I was about to Cancun, but we just got the house instead. Covered all of their payment, and now she got the bobblehead. Looking at me like dinner, she said she about to gobble lead. Point the beam like a pencil, and then you gotta swallow lead. Point the beam like a pencil, and then you gotta swallow it. Pack my bag with essentials, I can't forget the hollow tip. Niggas losing they mental, and Satan come demolish it. Niggas all on they menstrual and get the whining like a bitch. just like iron, they rust. Niggas trying, they luck, keep it real. Everybody out here lying, save us, steady raising dead. They was out here lying, then dust. Niggas on my head, so the brotherhood is a must. Any hood, I be riding with my brothers that I trust. Know I'm good, cause they sliding with their fingers on the clutch. Money piling like I'm trying to make it stack in the rush. One west to the death, and that ain't even enough, cause I'm coming back. I ain't never done with that, going ahead and spread your lies. I'ma let you run with that, wanting me to spread the thighs. I ain't having fun with that, nigga, hell no. Then she wanna chop it up like a lumberjack. Got some exes popping up, trying to run it back. Want me come and hit the hole like a running back. If the Lord take a soul, ain't no coming back. On my soul couldn't fold like 100 racks. I'm down for my niggas, I up for my niggas. I go and do the time, stay stuck for my niggas. I ride for my niggas, I die for my niggas. One west to the death, no lie, Lord nigga. I'm down for my niggas, I up for my niggas. I go and do the time, stay stuck for my niggas. I ride for my niggas, I die for my niggas. One west to the death, no lie, Lord nigga.
The full Nicky on my waistline like a big nigga. No limit, I'm a tank, close game, hit different. We focus on who around, not concerned with who's missing. My boots digging, never been a house shoe. She don't like it, but she love me. I can tell when she want me. Tell, then I sit the body bag like a onesie. Dropping every day, let my feel clumsy. Through the pain, but we don't find shit funny. I know enough that I don't know shit. It's one thing I know this. Never bite the end that feeds you. Never lend a whole shit. We don't want half of the world, man. We coming for this whole shit. But in the world, I was known to pack bags like a road trip. I'm in the den with the lions. I be living this in real life. Ain't everything, but you gon' lose your soul. That's a real price. Getting led by a coward. I don't know what that feel like. Black on black toes to my head. I can't kill Christ.
I'm down for my niggas, I up for my niggas. I go and do the time, stay stuck for my niggas. I ride for my niggas, I die for my niggas. One west to the death, no lie, Lord nigga. I'm down for my niggas, I up for my niggas. I go and do the time, stay stuck for my niggas. I ride for my niggas, I die for my niggas. One west to the death, no lie, Lord nigga.
Kill the beat.
I don't know who, somebody need to hear this. Y'all don't speak Hebrew, that's Yiddish. How the fuck you try to label us anti-Semitic? We the Israelites, blacks, native Hispanics. The Germans getting locked up for the Holocaust. Meanwhile, black people still up in the Holocaust. 100 million of us died in the transatlantic. 6 million died, y'all want the world to never forget it. You can never be a Jew, you a Ashkenaz. This ain't a star dum-dum, a gun that would die. Yeah, Yeezy told the truth and got ostracized. Not one person in the Bible had on a yarmulke. We were slaves in America like we was in Egypt. Y'all don't even fit the curses in the Torah neither. Y'all was blind to the truth, I had to make it clear. How Jerusalem, your land, your people came from Europe. That was 1947, your menorah got 9 sticks, it's really only 7. Yeah, it's us against the world, Armageddon. This what happened when you inherit lies from your ancestors. Y'all the synagogue of Satan with them black hats. Your whole nation sitting ducks, Aflacs. Bunch of thieves and culture vultures, ain't nothing kosher. To tell the truth, you vagabonds don't have a culture. Macedonia, Alexander and Philip, you a convert, so tell me, how the fuck is you Israel? That don't make you the people just cause you litter. Why my people can't hate your people like y'all hate Hitler? All the prophets was black and was called nigga. Y'all don't even fit the description that's in the scriptures. Abraham, all the way down to Jacob, we the real Jews. Y'all don't study Christ, y'all follow the Talmud. Keep it real, yeah, let's keep it real. Cold hard truth, it give you chills. Say y'all Jewish cause y'all ain't really them. About to do them like Hammond, it's the Feast of Purim. UPK undefeated, this an easy win. We was born fighting, y'all the evil twin. Jacob took hold of his heel, then out came his little red bastard, they kosher deals. It's only 12 tribes, y'all trying to make it 13. Esau despised his birthright, the Lord cursed him. He ain't the devil, who is? I'm still searching. Ask your rabbi, why he get them babies herpes? I don't know what's worse, that or you claiming that you a Maccabee. I'm about to cancel, everybody try to cancel ye. I ain't afraid to speak, that's what I do. They riding to the core, I'm just judging them by their fruit. Cause they ain't suffering curses. If I was carnal, I promise I'd punch you in person. I know this an uncomfortable subject. They making millions off our culture and black people suffering from it. Yeah, they don't believe in Christ, they the Antichrist. Make a living off of niggas, they a parasite. I ain't afraid to tell the truth, niggas terrified. I'm about to go DEFCON 4, I ain't satisfied.
That is proof. That is absolute proof that they know we are the real Jews. That's absolute proof. Like you got the records. Go find me a white Jew on any archaeology in Egypt anywhere. You will never find a piece of archaeology with white people as slaves in Egypt. So don't tell me that they were slaves and it's their identity, and they know it.
God's chosen people are in poverty and depression in the streets of America. God's chosen people are walking around in America with no identity. That's where God's chosen people are.
Okay.
There's a king that's coming back to save our people. Now, we should be preparing ourselves for the return of our king, not stuck up in these denominations and religions that's destroying our people and destroying our nation.
So when we are in this kingdom and our brother and sister is doing wickedly in this kingdom, we must tell them, look, the world is expecting you to stay docile, to stay stupid.
That's what Christianity teaches our people. Teaches our people to hate one another and love the oppressor. Like, we'll never forgive one another for anything that another brother or sister do to us, but we'll forgive the oppressor in a heartbeat. There's something wrong with that, man.
Imagine living your life as a whole Christian your whole life, and life's good because you're a Christian and Jesus is white and everything's going great, and there's a landslide and the earth opens up and you go downstairs and you walk through this place and you see a black Jesus, man. Why is Jesus Christ black with an afro in the catacombs, man? This predates the Renaissance period.
So when you read the book of Genesis, the trees in the garden with other nations, a leaf, what does a leaf do to a tree? Cover the tree. So Adam took the covering of another nation. What's the covering of another nation? Their culture. So when the Most High saw him and said, yo, Adam, where are you, man? Why are you? Don't mean I can't find you. He means like, who is this nigga, man? Where are you, man? I don't know you.
Okay. So the Ba al Banya Yasha'ala wa Amarath al Hamma wa Aidya Yahaw. The Ba means speak. Al, when it's joined with something, so al Banya means what? Unto, right? Excellent. So al when it's joined with something means unto. Banya means children. Yasha'ala is Israel. So unto the children of Israel.
Like if it's one thing a hoe gonna do, a hoe gonna hold. But you ain't, she can't hold if there's nobody to hold with. And the thing she said at the end, where she said, I went back and I lied to him and he still wouldn't do it. And then she threw up her hands and she said, well, he'll just be a brother. That's what he need.
That's
brothers.
Right.
If we have more brothers, hoes like her wouldn't have no outlet.
There was a man in the land of Oz, his name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright.
There you go, the man called Job. I think Job is what, that afflicted. And that man was perfect and upright, meaning what? You can be perfect, man. Job was a man like everybody else, man. Job wasn't no angel, he didn't come from the heavens, and that man was perfect, meaning what? You can be perfect in the Bible. Being perfect is in the Bible.
Had fringes on my coattail way before Jimmy. Funny how the general ain't even see a penny. Better show respect, get smoked like a chimney. Keep my name out your mouth, don't even think it. Send a real Smith, hey, y'all know Jada Pinkett. Both ball heads, my grain above 50. Lost my man to the game, that pain that stuck with me. Had to find a cheat code to the street though, cause them niggas getting foul, shoot you like a free throw. Keep spitting acid like a Mino, and the nigga be the nicest with a mean flow.
And I'm screaming more fire, more fire. give them more fire, more fire. I just gotta pray for more fire, more fire. I'm hoping he come with more fire, more fire.
Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatham to all the brothers. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh Shema Alatham Bashem Yahshua to the sisters. We are the ISUPK, start at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. You know what I'm saying? Since 1969, we've been teaching so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans their true identity according to the Bible, according to biblical history, according to archaeology, you know what I'm saying, history, according to prophecy. You know what I'm saying? Teaching you your true identity, which your oppressor would never tell you. You know what I'm saying? The identity and the history and the birthright, or the what's it called? The inheritance that your oppressor would never let you know belongs to you. You know what I'm saying? That's what we've been teaching our people about since 1969. We have classes, you know what I'm saying? This is the UK school. So we have school in Birmingham, 394 Lodge Road, B18 5PW. We have classes all throughout the week. You know what I'm saying? Monday, the history class, like Monday, the law class, Tuesday, brotherhood class. All these classes are 7 till 9. We've got Wednesday, history, Thursday, scripture breakdown, and Friday is the Lashawan Qadash, which is today, which is where I teach you how to read, write, and speak biblical Hebrew. Also, we have the On the End radio show, which will follow this class on ISUPK United Kingdom. You know what I'm saying? So you can catch that from 9 p.m. to about 11. And also every Sunday at 2 p.m. you can catch my show Real Time Revelations live on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Every Sunday at 2 p.m. obviously UK time. All right. With that, you know what I'm saying? Shalom to everybody that's in the class. I see Trooper Tazarap, Mosai in Christ. Congratulations. I see that name coming in. Mosai in Christ.
The water.
Mosai in Christ. I saw when you got your name on Facebook. Mosai in Christ. Tazarap in the building. All right, no more young man shit no more. All right, Mosai in Christ. We also have Kaila. Shalom Yahweh Shema Alatah Bashem Yahushai. All right, Mosai in Christ. We also got Daniel from London. Shalom, Lord in Christ. We got Ira. We got some named Warren. All right, Lord in Christ. Okay, so let's get into tonight's class. So tonight's class is going to be kind of like a revisiting. So we've covered this topic once before. It was a while back though, so a lot of people might not remember it. And I've also went in and added more different parts of the body in there also. Okay, so before we get into the main part of the class, I'm going to share my screen. We'll do the registry. So we'll start with Tazarap. Could you state your name and your name and your registry for me, Baba Kushar? Do this too.
Salakia, Tazarat, Ban, Gad, Ban, Yahweh, Ban, Yasharallah, Salakia.
No sign of Christ. No slow. So Tazarat, Ban Gad, Ban Yasharallah. Okay, perfect. Kayala, could you state your registry also? Most sign Christ. So Kayala, Bath Yahawada, Bath Yasharallah. And of course, as you'll come in, be sure to state your registry in the comments. Like we'll see Ira, Ban Yamyan, Ban Yasharallah, so on and so forth. Okay, so and I would also like to do the Hebrew alphabet. Okay, so let me get Tazarap. You go through the Hebrew alphabet for me, Bakushar.
Kana Rakan, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Kha, Ta, Ya, Ka, La, Ma, Na, Sa, I, Pa, Taza, Kwa, Ra, Sha, Da.
No sign Christ. No sign Christ. So that's the Hebrew alphabet. If there's anybody that's unfamiliar with the Hebrew alphabet or you need the sheet, be sure to contact the school. Right? Be sure to contact ISUPK United Kingdom. Matter of fact, let me put that in the chat right quick. If you want to attend classes live, like you see, this brother and sister right here, be sure to contact us and we can look at getting you the sheet. You know what I'm saying? Getting the sheet sent out and getting you the link so you can join you can be in the class, be asked questions. It definitely helps you to learn being, in the class as opposed to just watching online. All right. And also, let me put this in the chat as well. If there's anybody, still working, still doing their 90 days, working on obtaining their Hebrew name, you want to fill in this attendance sign-in sheet. All right, so make sure you fill that in. I'm gonna put that in the comments also. Okay, boom. All right, no sweat. So let's get on with the class. So we have the anatomy of the body. So what I've done is I've done various different, as you can see, various different parts of the body, and we're kind of going to go through them, put the arrows in. There's some that I already applied, but I had to move around a lot of them because I added some in. So we'll just go through it and apply arrows where necessary. So the first word we're going to learn is the word for body, right? This will be how you'd say body or flesh, right? And that word, Tazarab, could you tell me how we'd say body or flesh in Hebrew?
I can see it. Slakia, it's Bashar.
Bashar, exactly. So Bashar is body or flesh, right? So that could be applied to the whole body, could apply to a part of the body, but generally to say body or flesh, the word is Bashar. Okay, Bashar. So we'll get that written down, and then we'll move on to the next word. All right, so what I'm gonna do with these, I won't put arrows to them because it pretty much applies to almost, it can apply to any part of the body. Or I could just do, apply an arrow. All of these, nah, I was just going to do it to like the top of the head, but I don't think it's necessary. I'll just leave these. Okay, so we have flesh or body, which in Hebrew is Bashar. Okay, Kayla, could you read us the next word? So the next word is bone. All right, so you have the flesh, you have the body, and then you have the bones within the body, the skeleton. How would you say bone in Hebrew? Itazam. All right, so bone in Hebrew is itazam. Right? So like bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, that word is itazam. Right? And I guess flesh of my flesh is bashar. Right? Okay, so bone in the Hebrew is itazam. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see this part. Okay. Okay, so let's get the next word. All right, the next word is skin. Tazarab, could you tell me how we'd say skin in Hebrew?
Khan Khan, it would be Iwar.
Iwar. All right, so Iwar is how you say skin. Okay. So let me go into Iwar. Yes, skin. Iwar is skin. It could also be the word for hide or leather, as in the skin or the hide of an animal, right? But in terms of people, you're talking about the skin, right? I guess if you was to say the skin of a sheep, it would be the hide of a sheep. You know what I'm saying? I think we went through one of these words not too long ago in like a vocabulary session, which is what prompted me to kind of revisit the anatomy class because there was a few things I realized I was missing. Okay, so Iwar is like one of those words, and Itazam as well, right? We went through the word bone not too long ago, you know, with some of those words I was missing. So bone is Itazam, skin is Iwar. Okay. Kaila, could you tell us the next word? All right, the next word is blood. How would you say blood in Hebrew? Dam. All right, so blood in the Hebrew is dam, right? I always make this kind of reference with an officer in the UK called Officer Dam Gabar, meaning blood warrior, right? So dam is how you say blood in Hebrew. Okay. Let me see. Somebody says, Shalom, brothers. I have a question. I'm about to be dating a Nigerian girl. Is that forbidden or not? If you are an Israelite, if you are a so-called Black, Latino, or Native American of the transatlantic slave trade, it would be against the law to date you say Nigerian, this would be a Hamite woman, right? According to our laws, you cannot date outside of Israelites. You can't date outside of Blacks, Latinas, and Native American women, right? So that would be unlawful. Okay. The Nigerians, they come from the line of Ham, right? That would be like even if you read Deuteronomy 7, I think it's 7 and verse 3, it tells you we should not make any marriages with them. All those African nations that are in the land of Canaan. The Bible says you should not make no marriages with them. Don't give your sons to their daughters, nor your daughters to their sons. You know what I'm saying? As they'll turn our hearts away from following the Lord, right? Also, you can read, there's another one I think is Ezra, where Ezra quotes that scripture, but expand, like he's quote that scripture, but he's talking about Moabites and Ashkenaz, which is your Jewish man today. You cannot date, you know what I'm saying? It was talking about those Hamite tribes because that's who, you know, we were going into their land. That's who it's relevant for at that time, but it applies to all other nations. We cannot date outside our race. You know what I'm saying? According to the Bible, love isn't love. You choose who you marry. All right. Okay, let's get the next word. So the next one is sinew or tendon. So this is the little ligaments that connect the different bones and joints in the body. Okay, so the word is sinew or tendon. Tazarap, how do we say that in Hebrew?
That would be gayad.
Gayad. All right, so gayad is the sinews of the body or tendon. All right, if you were to look up even the word sinew, which I can do real quick. Sinew, right here is a piece of tough, fibrous tissue uniting the muscle to bone. It's like a tendon or a ligament. So a tendons or ligaments are known as sinew, and how you'd say that is gayad in the Hebrew. Okay, so gayad. Okay, so now we get into words we've done before. So all right, the first word we're going to do is hair. What's going on here? Okay, cool. So let me put the marker right here because the man on this thing doesn't have hair, but you know the word is hair. So how would you say hair in Hebrew? Let me get it to Kyla. Sha'aya, right? Sha'aya. Why are they not giving me the? Usually gives me like a point. Hold on. Something's going wrong here. Might need to refresh it. Let me refresh it. All right. So hair in the Hebrew is sha'aya, right? Sha'aya. This is another example I use. There's a brother in Indiana, right? There's a brother in Gary, Indiana, called Ash Sha'aya, meaning like fiery hair. Okay. Like if you see that brother, you know why his name that. He has hue like a flame of fire. It's like kind of orange in color, right? So that's kind of another example I give. Okay. Well, this refreshes. Bada bing, bada boom. So we basically going from like the top of the head all the way down to the bottom of the foot, quite literally. All right. Hold on. Yeah, that's what it is. Let me see. Go ahead.
So you don't technically like pronounce the R?
The I. So it's like Aya, right? Or otherwise it'd be like Sha'ai. But you do kind of pronounce the R or the Ra, it would be Sha'aya. Where is? Hold on. Can y'all still see my screen? Yeah, it's still showing. I need to change it here. All right, where's the year? Not 21. All right, that's right here. Okay. All right, so we have hair, which is Sha'aya. Can I move this? All right, you know what? I'm gonna just leave the arrows. I mean, let me just take out the arrows because it's becoming more hassle than it's worth. I think we all can put, like, if he was to get a what could even be worth doing, like if anybody wanted to get like a copy of this sheet, you could then like draw the arrows or you could do something like that. But I think for the time being, we'll do it this way. Okay, so Let me see also. Is this large enough so that we can see the words? I know the text of the words is a little bit small because I've had to get everything in there. But can we see the words clear enough to read them? Can't? Okay. All right, no sweat. So let me get bada bing, bada boom. Let me get the next word. So we have hair, which is on the top of your head, which is sha'aya, right? Then you have head. Okay, Taza Rap, how would you say head in Hebrew?
It will be Ra'ash.
Ra'ash. All right, so Ra'ash is head in Hebrew, right? Your head. Okay. All right, so head is Ra'ash. It can mean head, it can mean chief, it can kind of mean top as well. But in its base word, it means well, I guess those are the kind of different meanings, but for the most part, it means head, right? And where it could be like chief is like a chief is a head of something, right? So it's kind of even like the next one we're going to read, which is, Kayla, could you tell us the next one? Face, right? And how would you say that in Hebrew? Panya, right? So panya is face, like your physical face, right? And it can also mean to turn and face. It can also mean in the presence of or before, right? Like in front of the face of somebody, right? The same way Ra'ash, it can mean head. It could be the top of something, like say the head of a tree is the top of a tree. The head of an organization, like Kamani Jana Yohana, he's the Ra'ash of the ISUPK, right? So on and so forth. Okay. So let's get the next word. So we got head is Ra'ash, face is Panya, and the next word is like your forehead or brow. Matter of fact, I'm gonna move this. I should move this down to like the features of the face. Let's see if I can do that. Or is it gonna be too much hassle? So I've done it in a certain way. Yeah, the text box. Yeah. I want to do it this way. I'll take the time. Okay, so let me put that in. Forehead or brow is Matazak. Move this here. Connect with this. I was like, I gave it to y'all, but it don't matter. Okay, so now we're moving on to like the features of the face. I just wanted to move it down slightly. Okay. Hold on. Zoom back in. Okay, so who was we on? Is it Tasha up?
Connor.
Okay, could you tell us the what was I just saying? It's like the next word, Bubba Bishop.
The next word is forehead or brow.
Forehead. Exactly right. Forehead or brow. Right. So this here, right, which is your forehead or your brow area, right? Like so if someone says the like your fur in your brow, right? It's like your eyebrows, but it's the whole top part of your head. You know what I'm saying? Your brow, right? If you was to go to find the word, hold on. I don't want to go. Let me see. If I search the word brow in the Blue Letter Bible, it'll bring me up. All right, Matazak. I'll show it right here. It says forehead or impudent, which is like it can also is used figuratively to do with like stubbornness. Like your forehead is hard against their forehead. It could be brow, forehead, or what's it here? An impudent forehead, a brazen forehead, right? So on and so forth, right? So forehead or brow, right? That area right here. Okay. And then let's get back here. What I want to do real quick is just center all these letters. My OCD is kicking in. Slack here, y'all. Yeah, that's better. Okay. All right. The next word. Right.
I.
Mm-hmm.
Ayan.
All right. So the next word is I. Now this is one of the root words of the Hebrew alphabet. It's ayan. Right. Ayan is how you'd say your I in Hebrew. Okay. So ayan would be like I, or ayanyam. Right. Would be your eyes. Okay. All right. And then a feature of the I. This next one here is what I've found, early today, right? Is how you'd say eyelids in Hebrew. Okay, so Tazarab, could you have a go at saying how you'd say eyelids?
Would that be Ipipium? I Ipipium?
Ipium, exactly, right? So Ipium is how you'd say eyelids, right? So Ip would be one eyelid, Ipium would be your eyelids, right? As in the top, the top part of the eyelid and the bottom part of your eyelid, right? So it would kind of always be plural for the most part, right? So Ipium, okay, is eyelids. All right, let me get the next one from Kyla.
Ear.
Mm-hmm.
Azan.
Azan, right? So azan is how you'd say ear, right? It's what you shamai with. It's what you listen with. Okay, so ear in Hebrew is azan. Okay. All right. I'm gonna try not to go through them too fast, but of course, anybody let me know if I'm going through them too quickly. Okay. But I'm gonna move on to the next ones. The next one, let me get that from yourself, Tazarat.
That would be nose.
Mm-hmm.
That's
How do you
up.
say nose? Ap, right? So nose in the Hebrew is ap, right? Now this is another one where if I go into this word, I'm gonna search nose right here. Hold on. Okay, nose. It could also be to be angry, right? This word right here. So ap. It could be anger, wrath, or nostril, or nose, right? So for the most part, this is how you'd say nose, and it's also used to say anger. Why? Because when you're angry, you exhale like through your nose, through your nostril, right? It symbolizes the like you breathe in quickly through your nose, right? So that's why it's both a word for anger and wrath, and also the word for nostrils or nose, right? So that matter of fact, I could do I have it here? I'm gonna expand this to say nose and hold on, nose / nostrils. All right. Let me caps it. Nostrils. Okay, so nose / nostrils is ap. Okay, put this here. Let's move it center with everything else. Okay, so nose or nostrils is ap. Okay, next we have the cheek or the jaw, right? This applies to both. It could be the cheek itself, the fleshy part, or the jaw, right? How would you say that in Hebrew, Kyla? Oh, so let me move back to the water.
Lakia.
Lakia, right? So lakia is your cheek or your jaw. Okay, so lakia, all right? It could also, like if you go into the Blue Letter Bible as well, it could also be a word for bone, but it's referring to the cheekbone, right, which is the jaw. Okay. Like for example, the jawbone of an ass, right? The word it would use would be lakia. Okay. All right, so lakia is your jaw, your cheek, or your jawbone. Okay. All right. Next one. Oh, hold on. It's gonna. Okay. Yeah, just my thing. Okay. All right, so the next one, if I could get that, Tazza up.
That will be mouth, and it will be pa.
Mouth, which is pa, right? Now, pa is another one of those the symbolic roots for the Hebrew alphabet, right? The letter pa, right? So pa, its root is pa, which means mouth. Okay. Then you have the next word, right? Let me get this, Kyla. Lips, which is what?
Shapa.
Which is shapa, right? So it's literally a sha, which is like a preposition meaning pertaining to. Then you have pa, which is mouth. So the word for lips, shapa, literally means like pertaining to the mouth, right? Of course, the lips pertain to the mouth, right? So that's like how our language evolved. You know what I'm saying? You'll also I suppose a lot of the root words for the what am I saying? A lot of the root words for the alphabet are pertaining to the body, right? Like you have ayan, you have pa, you have ra'ash, right? All these words are like those kind of root words, right? It's similar to like, I mean, it's I guess, what's the word? Reminiscent of how as we're coming up in the earth, one of the first things you learn as like a child growing up is like one of the first things you'll learn is like parts of your body, right? So those became kind of those letters came from symbolizing different parts of the body, like some of the first things you'll see. Even which is alap, is something you'll see very commonly, right? Cattle, right? You'll see cattle, you'll see cows very commonly. So that's why it's like it's our it's what symbolizes our letters. Okay, so we have lips, which is shapa, pertaining to the mouth. Okay, then we have the next one, or if you could read me the next two, because they kind of go together.
We have teeth and tongue. Teeth is sha'an, and tongue is lashan.
Right. So teeth is shan, right? Teeth is shan. It's another symbolic root of the letters, right? You have teeth, which is shan or shanyam, right? So like it's kind of like the word shan is like a set of teeth. So it's kind of another one of those words that's not often used in the singular, right? So like a set of teeth, you would just say shan, right? If you was to specifically count out, say you went to the dentist and there was 2 teeth that were hurting. In that instance, you'd use like the plural, you'd say shanyam, right? But for the most part, shan is like a set of teeth, right? Even shapa is a set of lips, you know what I'm saying? And then we have tongue, which is lashan, right? Lashan, which is also where the word lashawan comes from. Lashawan meaning language. You use a tongue to make speech, to make a language. Okay. Also, lashan is like using the preposition la, which means 2 or 4, right? So we have 2. It's like 2 the teeth, right? Which you'll notice when you use your tongue, when you use your lashan, in order to make these words, you're moving your tongue around your mouth, and a lot of times to the teeth, right? You have to make your tongue touch your teeth in order to pronounce certain letters, like a th, your tongue has to touch your teeth. You know what I'm saying? On other letters, your tongue is going typically towards your teeth to, especially in Hebrew, like tha, ta, the various letters where your tongue is going towards your teeth, right? So that is the word for tongue, lashan. Okay, right? We're gonna detour over to the right. Let me get these 2 words, right? So these are also facial features typically applying to men, right? So men will have a mustache or a beard as they get older, right? You develop facial hair. So Kyla, could you get me these 2, right? The word for mustache and the word for beard.
Mustache is shapam,
Mm-hmm.
and beard is zakwan.
No sign Christ. So you have mustache, which is shapam, which also, if you notice, it comes from the word shapa, right? So shapa meaning lips, Shapam, which is right above your lips, right? It's where your mustache is. It's the facial hair of your lips. The word is shapam, which is a very similar word. Then you have the word for beard, which is zakwan. It can mean beard. It can also mean like old or ancient, right? So as you get, older in age, it's like you develop your mustache first, and then as you get even further older in age, you develop your beard. So that's why it also became the word for like if I search, hold on, because I want to find it. If I search beard, it will give me the word zakwan. All right. Right. So zakwan, which means beard or chin. Matter of fact, I'm gonna add that in. I think, hold on. Masculine and feminine, chin, beard. Let me see. Could this also refer to like a woman's chin? Well, I guess if a man or woman have a plague upon the head or the beard, and I guess the beard in a woman, of course, it would be referring to the chin. So I'm gonna add that. Hold on, go back here. So zakwan. Before I do that, I want to get to where I was referring to the so this word, which is where zakwan comes from. It can mean old or aged, right? So that's where the word zakwan came from, to mean beard also, right? As you become older in age, you also develop a beard. Okay. Especially like a full beard, what I'm saying? You might have the little, I got the little goatee thing going on, but as I get older, I'll start to develop more of a full beard. Okay. Lord allow, Lord willing. All right. So let me add this in, go back over here. I want to add beard, beard / chin. I think I'm fine to like leave it over here on the men's side. But move there. Gotta move. Hold on, let me just move maybe a little to the right. Okay, so zakwan mean beard or chin. Okay, and let's get back to it. Right, so those are the features of the face. Okay, so you've been through all of these, right? And next we have, let's go through. So we're going again from kind of top to bottom. All right, so the next one we're going to go through is the neck. All right, so Tazarab, could you read that one for me?
Concert. The neck would be Tazawar.
Tazawar, right? So neck is Tazawar, right? When you look into this word, again, if I search the word neck, it's like the back of your neck or like the top of your shoulders as well, right? And it's Tazawar, but if it comes from a word which means to like bear a burden, let me get it right here, right? Tazawar, you can see here for neck. Let's see, neck. So I'm going to show you, probably the next word. Let me get the next one. Tazawar, neck or back of neck, right? Intensively from Tazar or binding. Oh, no, it might be the shoulder one that I'm thinking of, right? But the Tazawar is your neck, specifically like the back of your neck, right? Now the front part of your neck is the next word we're going to get, right? So, Kayla, could you read the next word? Throat, which is the front part of your neck, right? Throat, which is what? Garan. Okay, so to say throat in Hebrew, you'd say garan, right? So if you say you got a sore throat or you're swallowing something, right? The word is that part of your neck would be referred to as garan, right? Now either of these words can refer to the whole neck, right? But if you want to be specific, The Tazawa R is more the back part of your neck. Garan is your throat specifically. Okay. All right, then let's get the next word. So we're going down from the neck, and the next one we have is what?
We have the shoulder, which is shakam.
Which is shakam, right? So the shoulder is shakam. Now, I believe this is the word which goes into, I'm gonna get it up real quick. All right, shakam right here. It can mean shoulder. It can also mean back. It can also mean portion, right? There's one where it's, is this the one? Yeah, like this, I believe it comes from a word, hold on, from shakam. Needs to rise or get up early, right? Or to shoulder a burden, right? This word right here, right? To shoulder a burden, or to carry a load, like to load up a beast, like a donkey or something, right? So your shoulder is the part of the person where if you're laying something heavy, you lay it on that part, right? Like the back of your neck, the top of your shoulder. It's where you bear a heavy burden, right? You see a lot of it, especially in your third world countries. People put stuff on the shoulder and the neck, carry stuff. Even today, you'll have a backpack. It goes over your shoulder because that's the part that can. It's literally more kind of. It's designed for lifting, or it's designed for carrying heavy objects, right? So that is your shoulder, shakam. Okay, let me get the next word.
Back.
Gawa, right? So your back is gawa, right? So that's your whole back. Now, if you're talking specifically the top of your back or your shoulder area, you'd use shakam. For any other parts of your back, you'd use gawa. All right, gawa. Okay, let me get the next word.
Rib. Tazalai. Tazalai.
Tazalai. Okay, so rib is tazalai, right? So your rib cage or like the side of your body, right, is tazalai. Okay, so if someone punches you in your ribs, they're punching you in your side. So that is both your like an individual rib, your rib cage, and generally the side of your body. Okay, tazalai. Right. Even there's a few sisters in the school which will be named like Tazalaya. That name would be like my rib, right? So Tazalai is a word which means rib. Okay, let's get the next word. So this is something that resides within your Tazalai. Okay, or I guess in the head also, in the rash also.
Heart or mind.
Lab, right? So lab is your heart. You know what I'm saying? And the way we would use heart as Israelites is your mind. It's more relating to your mind, right? But you could also use it to relate to like your physical heart, right? But it's more in terms of your mind. So you could use it for, matter of fact, let me get the word here. Heart. Because I don't think there's like a Hebrew word for brain, but I wonder if you could use that word for both. Let me see. If I go to hold on, if I get right here, right? So it's lab, the heart, also used figuratively for feelings, will, and intellect. All right, so it's more like the physical heart, but when you use it, if you're using it figuratively, you're really talking about the mind or the thought process of somebody, right? That's their heart, right? What they care about, what they think, how they react in danger will let you know the heart of a man or the mindset of a man, right? But you could use that word to say like your physical heart, okay? So you could kind of use it by extension as well to say your mind or probably your brain, but I don't think there's a Hebrew word specifically for brain. We didn't really have that concept. It was just your mind, right? Okay, so let's get the next word. Hold on, let me get over here. right? So heart or mind is lab. Okay, let's get the next one.
It will be belly or womb, and baton.
Well, matter of fact, before we do this next one, I want to go over here. So we like going down. So we have the rib, we have the heart, right? I want to get these two parts of the body, right? So Tazarap, could you read me this one here? This one over here to the right.
Sir, I have to zoom in to see the words. Salakia. It would be
Okay,
chest.
I can
It would be chest. Chayadia.
Okay, so chest. So it would be Kadia.
Chadia. Salakia.
So Kadia would be your chest, right? So Kadia would be like if you go into the Bible, the word you actually have to search is breast, right? Now, breast today typically refers to like a woman's chest, but in Old English, breast is just a chest in general, right? So the word would be Kadia for a man's chest, and for a woman, which is, women have breasts, right? A woman's chest would be a different word. All right. So Kaila, could you read this word for me? So this is a word for bosom or breast. All right. And Hebrew would be what?
Shad.
Shad. Right. So shad would, all right, and then we'll get back to the center. Okay. So let me zoom in as well, so it's better for Tazarap. Okay, and then I could bring okay, so we just read heart and mind, which is lab. Okay, can we get the next word, which is the word for belly, right, or womb? So it could be used interchangeably. If referring to a man, it would just be his belly or his abdomen. If referring to a woman, it would be her belly or her womb. All right.
That would be Salaki.
No, go ahead.
It would be baton.
Baton, right? So baton would be your belly or your abdomen or your womb if you're a woman. Okay. All right. So that is baton. Okay. All right. Let's get the next word.
Navel or belly button. Shar.
Shar, right? So your belly button, or where like your umbilical cord is cut. This word shar can also refer to the umbilical cord itself, right? So it refers to like the navel cord or the umbilical cord and the navel, right? Which is your belly button in today's, in modern English. Okay, your belly button is shar in Hebrew, right? Now, no, the word shar can also be used to mean prince. Of course, you would, distinguish what word we're talking about by the context, right? If you're talking about, if you're talking about the part of the body, right? Or if you're talking about, you might mention the word baton, right? On my belly, in my navel, right? You'd use shar. You can figure out from the context. If you're talking about, specifically a prince or a ruler or something like that, then, talking about a kingdom or a royalty, then you know you're talking about a prince. You're talking about the other meaning of shah, right? There's plenty of words in Hebrew where it sounds the same, but it's different words depending on the context. Okay. All right, let's get the next word.
We have bowels or internal organs, which is ma'ai.
Ma'ai, right? So your bowels, this is like your bowels, your intestines, your gut, right? And this is where, like in Hebrew, like this is where like intense feelings, or say like you have a feeling of compassion, right? Say you see something and it makes you feel a type of way. You typically feel that feeling like in your gut, right? That word is ma'ai, right? The word for bowels, or it can also be, you have a upset stomach, you have pain in your intestines, you got indigestion, you got cramping in your bowels, right? All that area, your intestines, your gut, these will be referred to as your bowels, right? So that would be ma'ai. Okay, of course, it's not all the internal organs. Your lungs would not be considered as ma'ai, right? Your heart and the other major organs would be more your intestines, your gut, that sort of thing, right? That's why in modern English you have phrases like a gut feeling, right? That comes from the word ma'ai, which is bowels, right? If you look into it, it even can be like defined as like compassion, or like words like that, right? Mercy, things like that. Okay, those things come from your bowels. All right. Bada bing, bada boom. Matter of fact, let me get it real quick. I'll show you. You got internal organs, inward part, bowels, belly, place of emotions, distress, or love, right? Like even another one, like how sisters say they got butterflies in the stomach, right? Or that feeling. That feeling is in the bowels, right? So that would be ma'ai. You'd use that to say that as well. Okay. Let's get back here. Okay. Let's get the next word.
Liver.
Mm-hmm.
Kabad.
Kabad, right? So kabad is how you'd say liver in Hebrew. So these are a few specific organs that are mentioned. Your liver, right, is kabad. Okay. Let's get the next one.
The kidney, kalya. Kalya.
Right. The kidney, which is kalya, right? So your kidney, again, another organ that's specifically mentioned is your kidney. In Hebrew, it is kalya. Okay. All right. Sorry, Christ. Let's get the next one.
Hips or loins.
Mm-hmm.
Mathanium.
Mathanium, right? So this could refer to your hips, basically your whole kind of what you refer to as your private parts, right? From the hips through to your groin area. For men or women, is your loins, right? That would be referred to as mathanium, right? It could also be, I think, like the inner thigh, things that type of area. All that loin area would be mathanium, right? Matter of fact, let me search. Get this word real quick, because I want to get the more specific. Get a refresher on the specific parts, right? So we have mathanium, loins. Yeah, so right here, right? Loins or hips, right? Even here it says probably the waist or small of back, or in plural, the loins. So if you was to say mathan, it could be the waist or the small of the back. Again, these are kind of your intimate areas, right? Your loins, right? Mathanium is how you'd say that. Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's get back here. Okay. So those are basically like from your neck all the way down to like your groin area, right? Now we're going to detour over to the arms and different things on your arm, and then we'll go into like the legs and feet. We cover pretty much the whole body. Okay, so let's get for Tazarap. How would you say arm in Hebrew?
That would be zarai.
Zarai, right? So zarai is how you'd say arm. Okay. All right, so that's your full arm. You can use that word also to say strength. Zarai. Let me get again. I want to get it, over here so I can go into the word. All right, so we got right here. Right here it says the darai, zarai. All right, so zarai right here. All right, this is one of those words where it was changed, right? You see variant spellings, they added that vowel letter to make an O sound or an O. Because they say Zeroah, right? In Hebrew, it's Zerai. Comes from the word Zerai right here. Okay, so it means arm, power, shoulder, right? So it's your full arm from the shoulder, your bicep, your arm, your forearm, right? All of that is considered Zerai. Okay, all right. And let's get back to this one. Okay, so your arm and shoulder. When I say shoulder here, I know we had shoulder. What was it earlier up here? This shoulder would be more like the top part of your shoulder and the back. The one considered part of Zerai would be, the front of your shoulder, right? Be more like the deltoid, as they say, right? The shoulder of Shakam would be like your, what they call them, trapezoids, right? That'd be that area. Okay. Let's get the next word. Hand, right? Hand, which is what? Yad, right? So yad is your hand, right? You could say yad yamyen, which is your right hand, right? Yamyen, of course, meaning right. You could say yad shama'al is your left hand, shama'al meaning left, right? Hold on, we got a question here. So like you said, can it also mean offspring, like your kids, right? So that's like another example of a word which sounds the same. Like it's two different words, but they are spelled, they sound the same, right? So Zerai can also be a word which means seed, right? If I share this as well, right? It comes from, matter of fact, I think this is the word right here, right? So seed. Now this is the verb, but I want the word. Let me just search seed here, right? But it's the same word, right? Zerai, which is kind of why I suppose the oppressor added that wa to kind of distinguish. But in Hebrew, you would just say Zerai for both. In ancient Hebrew, it would just be Zerai, and it's one of those things you kind of figure out based on the context, right? So Zerai is also a word for seed or child or offspring, right? Like the seed of a man. Okay, that would also be the word for like semen or sperm, right? Let's get back here. Okay, so we just did palm, which is cap. No, we just did hand, which is yad. You also have, of course, palm. I might as well just give it to your palm is cap. So the palm of your hand, right, is cap. Okay, that is also yad and cap are also again those the symbolic roots of the letters. Okay, so that's this ka represents the palm of your hand, the yad or the ya represents a hand like this. Okay, so the palm of your hand is cap. All right, let's get the next one. Let me get this to Tazarat.
Khan, that would be fingers, and it would be atazabai.
Okay, fingers, which is atazabai, right? So your fingers, which would be primarily, it could be, if you're referring to just your fingers in general, or how like in English you'll say fingers and thumb. Thumb has kind of a different word if you're talking about your thumb by itself, right? But fingers generally is atazabai, like what would be referred to as your digits, right? They say that, right? Your digits or your fingers is atazabai, and then we have a specific word. Could you also, Tazarat, read us the specific word for thumb?
Khan, it would be bahanyad.
Bahanyad, right? Bahanyad. Now the word bahan means like the big finger, right? It could be either the big finger if you're referring to a hand, which is why if you say bahanyad, you're talking about your great finger or your thumb, right? The big finger, okay? Which in modern day English is just your thumb, okay? You also use bahan later on when we get to feet, and it is to mean, I'm gonna show you right here, big toe, right? If you was to say bahan regal, you're referring to the big toe or the great toe, okay? In Old English, it'd be like the great toe, okay? All right, so we got thumb. We've also went through the big toe, so I won't go through that one again, right? But behind yad is your thumb, behind ragal is your big toe. Okay. So now we're moving on to the features of the legs, right? So we'll start with the thigh. Kaira, how would we say thigh in Hebrew?
Yeah.
Yarak. All right, so yarak is the thigh. Okay. All right, so yarak is the thigh area. Let's get the word knee. Tazarak.
That would be barak.
Barak. All right, so the word for knee is barak. All right, now that is also a word, of course, which means it can mean salute or to bless. So I'm gonna go into that word and let's get the context. All right, hold on, not this one. This one. Let's search knee. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, so knee. Get it right here. Barak, which means to bless. Salute can also be to kneel, right? Like if you're saluting somebody, right? In olden times, you might kneel, right? You can get to this word. It all comes from the word barak, which means to bless or salute, right? So let me get in here, right? And you typically, right, to bless or to kneel or to salute, right? And right here is a primitive root meaning to kneel, or by implication to bless God as an act of adoration, right? So you could use, if you you know, a blessing God, you would kneel, or you might kneel before like a man that is above you, like a king, like you might kneel before Christ, right? So on and so forth, to bend the knee, to kneel down, and to bless. Okay, so the word for knee is barak. Okay. Then we have the word for leg, right? Now, in modern English, leg would be literally your full, you know, from your thigh or from your waist all the way down to your toes. The word leg in kind of old English refers to like almost like I think when I went through this first time, I made the analogy of like a chicken drumstick. You have the chicken thigh, and then the leg is considered the drum. So the leg is considered the part from the knee down to your ankle. Okay. So leg in Hebrew would be what? Kyla. So it's like the water. Let me go back here. All right, so your leg. Hold on. Share the tab. Okay. All right. So how would you say leg in Hebrew? Karai. All right. So your leg, meaning the area from your knee down to your ankle, is karai in Hebrew. Okay. And then the next one. Hold on. I'm not go too fast. All right, so you got the thigh, which is what yarak. You got the knee, which is barak. You got the leg, which is karai, which is also is similar to the word zarai, right, which means arm, right? So you got zarai, which is your arm, karai, which is your leg. Okay. All right, let's get the next word.
Feet, and that will be regal.
Right, feet, which is regal in Hebrew. Okay, so your feet, which is regal, which of course where you know, like behind regal is like the great digit. I'd say it like that, right? The great digit of your foot, right? Behind yad is the great digit of your hand. Okay. So regal is the word which means foot or feet. Okay. Again, this is a word which typically is kind of used in the plural. So you'd use regal just to say foot or feet. But if you're talking about a specific number of feet, right? If you might make chicken foot soup and you use 3 chicken feet. You know, you can use regal yum, right? So on and so forth. Okay, so you got feet. Right. The next one, let's get the next one.
Toes.
Atazabai regal, right? And where did we use the word atazabai before? For fingers, right? So atazabai means fingers, Atazabai Ragal is your toes. So it's quite literally meaning the fingers of your foot, right? Which are your toes. Okay. Then we also have the big toe again, Bahan Ragal, the great digit of your foot. Okay. And then let's get the next one. Tazarap.
Heel or iquab.
So your heel is iquab. This word can also mean footprint, right? It can also be like footprint or tracks, right? It could be the tracks of an animal, like hoof marks as well, like from a horse, that sort of thing. But in like a person or human, it typically means your heel. Okay. And the last word. Cap regal, right? So the sole of your foot, meaning the bottom of your foot, is cap regal in Hebrew, right? And where do we use cap before? Palm, right? So we use cap. Cap means your palm. If you say cap regal, it literally translates to the palm of your foot, right? Which in today's language would be known as the sole of your foot. Okay. So that is the updated anatomy from top to bottom, from the hair in your head to the sole of your foot, quite literally, right? And also, of course, things like flesh or body, bone, skin, blood, tendons. We got all that in there. Okay, so that is the anatomy class. Again, just a refresher and adding in more things that I missed the first time over. Okay, is there any questions anybody has on anatomy specifically before we move on to the second half of the class? Oh, you're good to go. Okay, I'm assuming that means y'all are good to go. All right, so cool. So let's get ready for the second half of the class. Let me just very quickly get, if I scroll down, I need to stop sharing. And then I'm gonna need to reshare the full screen. Okay, so boom. Okay, so let me know if y'all can see my, I click the button. Okay, so y'all should be able to see my full screen. All right, good to go. And we're going to start reading from Leviticus 25 and verse 11. This is where we're going to start in the Sabbath service tomorrow. So Leviticus 25 and verse 11. Okay, so we have Yahweh. Okay, so Yahweh. Let's get this word. It means a jubilee, a ram's horn, or a trumpet. Okay, so the blast of a horn, jubilee. Okay. Okay, so we have, what was it? Yahweh. When it comes from Yabal, meaning to bring, lead, or carry. Okay. All right, so let's get it. Yahweh. It means jubilee or a trumpet. Sorry, yeah. Or horn, blast of a horn. The signal of silver trumpets. Yeah, so trumpet / ram's horn. I mean all of these things. Okay. All right, so jubilee or a ram's horn or a trumpet. Okay. All right, so jubilee. Let me get into the word jubilee. All right, that's gonna break it down, but I wanna break down on the meaning of jubilee. Okay, it's a special anniversary of event. Meaning in Bible, especially a liberation occurred every 50th year, time of rest. Okay, and restoration. Okay, cool. All right, so that's the jubilee, Yahweh. Okay, so the jubilee was signified by blowing a horn. Okay, then you have the word Hawa'ah. Okay, Hawa'ah is a word which means he. Typically means he or it. I'll go into it. This, same, or who. He, it, which is the actual kind of more the usage. I'm gonna put he, she, or it, himself, the same, this, these. All right, so he, it, or the same. Right, I'll do it like that. Right, it could be referring to, like you would say he, you wouldn't say it, yeah. You're saying the, right, or the same year. Okay, you have shanaf next, which the root word here is shana, which means year. You have ha as a preposition. Of course, we all know this by now. What does ha as a preposition mean? Go ahead. The, right? So ha means the. You have, it's like you're not kamasha, you have kamashium. All right, who can tell me what kamashium means? Go ahead.
50.
50, right? Kamasha means 50, right? So of course we know, let me get this here as well. Kamash means 5. In order to say 50, you'd say kamashium, right? Almost all the like the numbers in tens follow that, except for like 20, right? 20 is Aisharayim, right? Which is like the plural of 10. Then 30 is Shalashium, 40 Arabayim, 50 Kamashium, Shashayim, Shabayim, so on and so forth, right? You just pluralize it, okay? So Kamashium is 50. And you have Shana, Thahaya, right? So you have the preposition, or is that the, I think that's more the future tense. Thahaya. Yes, the imperfect, so it's more the future tense, the star, right? So it's not a not necessarily the preposition. Okay, so you got haya, which means to be or become, right? Or like to exist, right? So it shall be. You have lakam, so you have la as the preposition, which means what? Hold on. Let's copy the word preposition. What does la as a preposition mean, anybody?
Salakia. Would it be 2?
2, or what else?
Or 4.
Or 4, right? So la as a preposition means 2 or 4. You have kam as a suffix. So like at the end of a word, I'm gonna just put suffix for simplicity's sake. It would mean y'all, right? Like you all, or this is y'all. It can be something that belongs to you all. So I can also just do you in the plural sense, right? So to you all. So lakam would be to you all, right? Then you have la'a. La'a means no or not, especially when paired with a it's paired with a verb, but then it's like you're not doing this verb, right? So you have the verb here, fa zarai, right? Which is one of the words we learned from earlier. Not zarai is in the arm, but zarai is in the seed, right? Or zarai is a verb which means to sow seed, okay? Right? So to sow, if I go into this one, to sow or to scatter seed, okay? So to sow seed, conceive seed, yeah, to sow, I'm gonna put to sow seed, because you could use it in a more figurative way, as in to get a woman pregnant. You're sowing seed, right? Or you could use it, physically talking about literal plants. Okay, so that's Zarai. Then it says Wa la'a fa quatazar. Okay, so quatazar is the root here, which means hold on. We also have the, I guess, tha here as a preposition, meaning thou or thee, or in modern English, you, right? So you shall not sow seed and you shall not reap, which is what Quatazar means. It means to reap, right? To reap what you sow, or to harvest, right? If you go into it, to reap, to harvest, to shorten, but it's more used in the context. Hold on. It's more used from what I've seen. It's more used in the context of to harvest something, right? So I'm gonna put to reap or harvest. Okay. I'm gonna read about to be short, cut down, grieve, harvestman. I'll leave it like that, right? KJV, reap. It's fine. Okay. So you shouldn't sow nor reap. And then this ath is a word. Hold on. Okay, ath, against, among, before. It's usually preposition. Okay. All right. So you shouldn't reap. You have sapyakya. Okay. Sapayak. Okay, sapayak. What's the root here? Sapak. Okay, sapak. So the word here is sapayak. Okay, sapayak is a word which means a self-sown crop or something falling off. Hold on. Okay, so that's something that basically grows by itself. So that'd be things like, I mean, an example is like weed, like not weeds, not weeds of marijuana, but like weeds, right? They sow themselves. They spread by themselves. You don't have to plant weeds. You don't have to plant. It could be things like, I don't know if wheat or grain has the same kind of, like it basically it'll grow whether you have a farmer or not. You know what I'm saying? It's a self-sown crop. Go ahead.
Like grass.
Like grass, exactly. Grass, right? I think I could be wrong, but I think like is wheat. Let me look this up. Is like a wheat and grass in the same family? Wheat and grass. Okay, I should look instead. Is wheat a self-planting crop or self-sowing crop? Let's see. No, it's an annual crop, not allowed self-sowing. Okay. We'll look up some examples. Examples of a self-sowing crop. Okay, so many vegetables, radishes, lettuces, carrots, cilantro, various flowers, that makes sense. Beets, so on and so forth. All right, so these are things that they have their own way of spreading itself, okay, without needing a farmer. So put this as things will grow themselves. Yeah, self-sown crop. Okay, so you can't sow anything and you can't reap anything that even sows itself, right? And you can't. So wala'a batazar. Okay, so the root here is going to be batazar, which means to gather. Okay, batazar, especially in this context. Okay, so cut off, to gather, to clip off, to gather grapes, right? So it could be fortify. Where does the fortify come in? I want to get the context of that. Cut off, make inaccessible. Oh, okay. So to cut off or by proxy of the cut off, it could be to fortify, like you cut something off from the public, like you barricade something, it becomes fortified. Not everything can get through. All right, to make inaccessible, enclose, or to gather, like to cut off grapes. Okay. Cut off. Let me see. I'll put in fortify as definition since it is one of the more used. What was the? Yes, it is fortified is used quite often here, so I'm gonna put that in. But yeah, we get the context from what we read. All right, so you can't gather. What can't you gather? All right, it says the grapes of your untended vine. Okay, so Nazaria. Let me get this here. All right, so Nazaria. Go ahead.
Something came up. Can I be excused?
Khan, no sweat. All right.
Shalom. Yahweh Shem
Yeah.
Shabbat.
Okay, so let's get here. We got uses the word Nazayar. Right, so Nazaria. Okay. Let me just put in the root. All right, the root word here is Nazayar. All right, so Nazayar, which means something that's set apart. So it could be a Nazarite, which were people that were specifically, like they were set apart for a specific purpose, okay, or figuratively an unpruned vine. All right, so it's like an unshorn Nazarite. So like how a Nazarite, you wouldn't shave a Nazarite's head. Like the famous example is Samson, right? It later on become used for like kind of like a wild grape, like a grape you don't trim. It's just a bush that I guess grows in your property, right? But you don't have it like wrapped around the stick or whatever. You don't it's not tamed or trimmed. It's just a wild grapevine. Okay, so it came untrimmed vines here, Nazarite separated. Right, so consecrated ones, distinguished ones, that's all to do with Nazarite or untrimmed vines. Okay, so that's the context here. So you can't gather from your untrimmed vines, right, or untended vine. Okay, then you have kaya. Kaya is a word which means for or because. What's the other word we did this for? It was like when and if. It was for, because, or I think we just did because for and because is basically the same word. Where we did kaya before, I don't remember. Kaya. I know when was one of them. For, because. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, well, if you find it in your notes, do let me know. We have because or if here. Because. I could just go into the word again. So let me get back to where I was. Okay, so for, because, when, or if. I think that's the one I did. I did like because, when, or if. Yeah. Okay, so because, when, or if. Okay. All right, so back here. So kaya yawabal, because for kaya yawabal hawa'a, because it's the Jubilee, right? Or hold on. Hawa'a Qadash. Right, so kaya yawabal is like for it's the Jubilee, right? And then Hawa'a Qadash, it's holy. Okay, so we have the word Qadash, which means holy or set apart. Okay, then you have Thahaya, we have Haya already, is to be. Lakam, we have that already. All right, let's get man, means from, right? From or like out of. It's basically the same thing, like the preposition ma is shortened from the word man, right? So from or out of. Okay, then you have Hashada. Okay, so Shada is the field. If ha is the preposition, means the. Shada means field or countryside. Okay, country, field, mostly field. Countryside can also be used, country. So I put field or countryside. I like that. Okay, so that's the Shada. We have Akalwa, which means you shall eat. Okay, comes from the root word here is akal, which is to eat. And you have ath, thabawa atha, right? Or thabawa atha comes from thabawa. Yeah, it'd be pronounced. Hold on. Thabawa ath ha, I think. Yeah, thabawa ath ha. The root here is thabawa, which means it's produce. It's gain, right? The crops. Okay, so produce or yield. Yield is the better word for that, right? So what it produces, produce or yield. Okay. It comes from the root word. Let me get this as well. Just seeing this here. Comes from the root word. It says bow, right? Which is ba'a. Right here is put as bawa'a, but it would be described as ba'a, which means to bring or to come in. Right? So I'm gonna put that is here as well. To bring. I'm gonna put that first. I think to come in. Brought, came. To come in / to bring in or to enter, right? That's that type of thing. Okay, to come in, go. Okay, so thabawa'a, or I guess would that then be? Hold on, I'm thinking that would just be thaba'a. Let's see. I want to see if there's a instance. Okay, I'll just leave it as it is, right? So thabawa'a or thaba'a. I'm not sure if it can be pronounced that way. It's basically what's brought in, right? Your yield or the produce. Okay, let me see. I'll do one more verse. So Bashana or Bashanath, which is in the year. Ha Yawabal. We already have this. Ha Za'ath. All right, so let's get this word here. Za'ath. Za'ath means this or that. It can also be these sometimes, right? So and it comes from the word za, right? Za, which means the same thing. This, these, that, right? So za'ath, or I should put za, za. Okay, which is the same word, basically means this, that, or these. Okay, so this, that, these. Right, I could put za'ath is feminine, za is masculine. Okay, then we have the shab, This comes from the word shawab. It's probably just shab. Let me see if there's an instance where it's just yeah, yashab. Yeah, right. This word here I'm gonna put as shab, which means to return. Okay, to turn back, return. Okay, to return / turn back, right? Or to turn around. Okay. You have ayash. Okay, ayash is a word which means man, husband, person in general, right? Like man, husband, or just generally a person. Individual male, which man kind of signifies that, but you can say like man specifically or each person, right? So I'll also put person here. Makes sense to do. Okay. Ow. This is when joined with something. It's not a verb. I suppose when is it like when joined to a noun? And to you, it could be joined to a noun or a pronoun. Because I've seen sometimes where it's joined with a verb and it means the same thing as la. So I'm trying to distinguish between that. I'll probably put but I don't know if it's only when it's joined with a noun, so I don't want to do that. I'll just put when joined, right? When joined, but not a verb. Okay, I suppose I could just verbally say that. Almost up and do. All right, so al when joined means to or unto. Okay, and then you have akazathwa. All right, so it's the root here, akaza. Okay, akaza. Kaza. Female cause, okay, is a possession. Okay, comes from akaz, which means to seize. Let me get that word as well. Akaz, which means to seize. You spell seize, S-E-I-Z-E. Grasp, take a hold of, to hold something in possession, to possess. All right, so to seize, it's used here, possession, his possessions, possessed, acquire property, took hold. I'm gonna put to seize. Take hold is kind of the same thing. Take hold. Not like them fake Israelites break down. Don't get that twisted. To take hold is mean to like if you're talking about a woman, to take hold isn't to force a woman, it's to seduce a woman. Like you got this woman in the palm of your hand. Like that's the that's like the analogy, or to possess. Okay, seize, take hold, or possess. And akazah means a possession. It's something that's being seized, right? That's being is in a possession, right? Is it one S? Yeah, two S's, possession. Okay. Possession, property. I'll put in property as well. Property. Okay. Possession, yeah, possession, property, site. Probably just need the same thing. Okay, cool. Right, and that is that the end of the verse? More words. That's the end of the verse. All right. So with that, we'll close out there. All right. So those are the last words, akaz and akazah. All right. Let me see if there's stuff showing my screen. See if there's any questions I need to attend to. Yeah, count last week when or if no sign Christ. I was slack here. I didn't see this comment error. I hope the words were large enough. or if not, you could probably go back and take screenshots, maybe zoom in. It's lucky for that. I didn't see the comment. All right, but with that, that is the end of the class. We'll close out. All right, so I'm gonna give a courtesy salute to the brothers that might be watching. Yemen of Israel, Imadium, Imadium Shabbat, Imadium, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Barak Atham. All right, Yad Yamata. I'm now gonna salute the sisters. So sisters stand. All right, Yemen of Israel, Imadium, Imadium Shabbat, Imadium, Barak, Yahweh Shema Alathaba Hashem Yahushai. Yad Yamata, and class dismissed. Sorry, Christ. All right, with that, Shalom Israel. Yahweh Shem Yahushai Barak Atham to the brothers, and Yahweh Shema Alatham Hashem Yahushai to all the sisters. All right, Shalom.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to ISUPK.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West. They're
Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The ISUPK, under Commanding General Yahana, presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026, in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person, ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under Commanding General Yahana. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us. Watch where you stepping.